want my fucking money. Gonna be so goddamn rich.
I think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Gonna be fucking rich. I want my fucking money. Griffin, I want my fucking money. Yo, motherfucker. Holy shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't you?
yelling, give me the fucking money. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Great. The bounty letter.
We're gonna be so fucking rich. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Can't hear you on YouTube. Nope, can't hear you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Now you can actually fucking hear me. Excuse me. What do we have here? We have over 200 companies that have been unable to provide a copy of their audited books. There are over 200 companies in China, real estate developers of all kinds, holding companies, energy companies, food manufacturers, you name it. They are all unable to provide audited versions of their books as demanded by the Chinese Communist Party. This means these are two different screenshots here with over 100 apiece on them on this Bloomberg terminal. Jerome Powell, get the goddamn money printer out. It's fucking over. It's over. All of these stocks were suspended. All of this Chinese collateral is going to be completely fucking worthless. It's possible that some of them don't default, but you've got names on here like China Evergrande Group suspended indefinitely, along with plenty of others. Fantasia Holdings, China Evergrande New Vehicle, the new electric vehicle, Shimao Group Holdings, Sunshine 100, Modern Land, Guangdong, Bison Finance, some of the world's largest property developers, finance companies, shell companies have been hiding ridiculous amounts of liabilities and unknown liabilities. That means money that they fucking owe through their cooking the books. They've managed to get themselves in a situation that they can't get out of. And that the Chinese Communist Party cannot fucking bail them out of. Because no government in the world can prop up this many companies or nationalize this many companies at a time. None. We're gonna be so fucking rich. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Enviro Energy, Xchange United, Huiyin Holdings, China Properties, China Energy, Carnival Group International, the cruise ship line, China Gas Industry. You think gas prices are high now? China Wood Optimization, Shanghai Agriculture Company. Let's go to the next page. You name it, it's on here. China Ocean Industry. Okay, and I can go on and on. You know, Flying Financial, huge corporations have been unable to provide an accurate set of books. 208 companies as of March 22nd. This shows a level of corruption and greed with these stocks and with the ownership of these stocks and their connection to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and American markets as well through outside exposure. It proves that failures to deliver on an audited set of books are just as bad, if not worse, than failures to deliver on hundreds and hundreds of stocks. To those of you that are unsure as to why this is the case, it's because BlackRock and Vanguard, as well as many other companies, have massive amounts of money invested in these emerging market funds. Tens of billions of dollars each. A quarter to a half of it is exposed to these Chinese markets. And as a matter of fact, I've got that here and I can prove it to you so you don't have to take my word for it. With exact numbers as well. Just get that pulled up in some way. Of course, it's in my Chinese executive order folder right here, right along with Bankrupt, Evergrande, kicking the can a little bit further. June 3rd, 2021, Biden extended an executive order addressing the threat from securities investments that finance certain companies, the People's Republic of China. And when he extended that executive order, that's what caused AMC to come down from 72 to 51. That gave the hedge funds and market makers their collateral back. Same thing with BlackBerry. That's what brought them down from their highs. Costs. That's what brought them down from their highs here as well. I mean, same thing in January. This same executive order is what caused the January 27th run-ups, and it was at that time extended in early February. It was extended through May 27th. I've done several videos about that already, so I will not go into more depth about that now. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. I will get to questions as quick as I can. So we know that collapsing Chinese collateral, whether it's through executive orders or suspension of that stock being available could possibly trigger some bankruptcies of these Chinese real estate company developers and other companies. It could possibly cause collateral issues for prime brokers like BlackRock and JP Morgan, HSBC, UBS, State Street Bank, and Susquehanna. It could potentially cause issues for broker-dealers like Robinhood and Webull and many others. It could potentially cause serious problems for hedge funds, particularly short hedge funds, that require vast amounts of collateral to maintain their margin requirements. That being said, I think it's a pretty clear indication that all of this collateral going bankrupt is going to seriously hurt people. In February, old fucking Yeller, Janet Yellen, sorry this is a little tough to read, but she added all these companies to the list of that Chinese military company collateral. So the next squeeze will be a lot worse than January and June, because instead of only being around 30 companies, there's over 60 that are now going to be completely worthless CCP military company bullshit. And a few of those would be Aero Engine Corp of China, Aviation Industry Composition of China, China Academy of Launch Vehicle Technology, China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, etc. This is all crap that these guys hold. And the proof from the Financial Times, BlackRock and Vanguard face having to offload billions of dollars worth of investments to comply with the U.S. government's decision to blacklist Chinese companies with military connections. This article is from May of 2021. That's why it says, the order, which came into effect on Monday, has forced index providers including MSCI, FTSE Russell, S&P Dow Jones Indices, and JP Morgan to announce the removal of several Chinese companies from their indices. This was under 30. As of February, old fucking Yeller and the U.S. Treasury added 35 more. So we've got over 60 on the list now. The world's two largest passive fund managers are particularly affected because of the amount of money they manage in funds tracking those indices. Cheers, motherfuckers! We're going to be so goddamn rich, and sadly, millions of people are going to be really fucking broke because their IRAs, ISAs, 401ks, investment accounts, it's not non-self-managed money market accounts, are invested in this fucking shit. The Vanguard FTSE Emerging Markets ETF is among the top 3 mutual fund shareholders in 5 blacklisted Chinese firms: CRRC, China Communications Construction, China Nuclear Engineering and Construction Corp., China Railway Construction Corp., Semiconductor Manufacturing, according to Morningstar data. The Vanguard Total International Stock Index, which tracks 7,000 stocks in the composite of the MSCI and the FTSE, had $407 billion in assets at the end of November. Let that sink in. This single index fund by Vanguard has 7,000 stocks and $407 billion in assets as of November of 2020, I believe. The U.S. listed Vanguard FTSE Emerging Market ETF Index Fund has 71.7 almost billion in assets as of January 6th. In that emerging markets exchange traded fund, which is a basket of stocks, just like a basket of stocks otherwise here in the States that would hold AMC and GameStop together. They had an exposure of over 43% to the Chinese market. So this emerging market fund is all over the place, but 43% of that $72 billion has exposure to these Chinese markets. That's just off the top of my head around 30 to $33 billion of exposure alone, just for one exchange traded fund out of the many, many funds that Vanguard has. They did not respond to questions on strategy and timing for offloading relevant blacklisted Chinese securities from its funds. All right. This doesn't mean shit. Oh, wait. Yes, it does. Because it proves exactly what the fuck I just said. Since the executive order was first announced, quote unquote, we've been keeping our client-facing associates prepared with a response for inquiries on the topic. I wonder if they mentioned AMC and GameStop. In short, Vanguard will fully comply with the executive order and will continue to monitor the situation to ensure ongoing compliance. It said in a statement to Ignites Asia. BlackRock's U.S.-listed iShares Core MSCI Emerging Markets Exchange-Traded Fund had about $70 billion in assets as well, with an exposure of 36%. 36%. Let's see just how big is this fucking number. Let's go 70 billion. How many fucking commas are in this thing? Times 0.036. Sorry, times 0.36. $25 billion, $200 million in BlackRock exposure from a single exchange-traded fund. Did I mention we're going to be so fucking rich? Alright, they had let's see here. Over here, that fund had an estimated 700 million exposure before the changes announced to its index. Right? But it did have an exposure of 36% to the Chinese market. Same shit. China's China. When all these real estate developers tank, so will all these fucking stocks. So will the rest of the Chinese markets. So will the collateral owned by American and worldwide short hedge funds like Point72, Citadel, and State Street, and Susquehanna, and all these other pieces of shit that have shorted stocks like Toys R Us, Blockbuster, Sears, AMC, and GameStop. Except this time, retail owns the float many, many times over. There are over 5 million investors in AMC and GameStop. And June 3rd, 2021, AMC's price came down from 72 previous day. It was around 79 at the all-time high. It came down on the 3rd when that executive order was extended. And it is good through June 3rd of 2022. Let me pull that up for you, just in case you're not aware of what's going on. Well, would you look at that? This is the first one. Executive Order 13959 from November 12, 2020, originally signed by Donald Trump. Executive Order: publicly traded securities or their derivatives provide investment exposure to such securities of any entity whose name closely matches the CCP military companies identified. And those were only authorized through 9:30 a.m. January 28, 2021, the date that AMC and GameStop went position close only, the date that GameStop went to $483, the date that AMC ran 1,800% or some shit like that. And then this was originally dated on January 8th, etc. This went into effect on the 28th. Oh, I closed my... No, never mind. There it is. Here we go. And then it was extended in early February through 9:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on May 27th, 2021. What happened on that date? AMC and GameStop both started running, and on June 2nd, AMC hit its all-time high of $79. On June 3rd, that at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, on June 3rd, 2022, with respect to any person listed in the annex to this order or the purchase or sale of publicly traded securities described in the subsections of this 30,146-page document, were made solely to effect the divestment in whole or in part of such securities, and it was permitted prior through that date. Which means, in English, your collateral is now good through 365 days from now and will no longer be good on January 3rd, 2022. Cash, what sound does the goddamn money printer make? Oh, man. Jesus Christ. We're gonna be so fucking rich.
It goes,
You're goddamn right it does. Oh man, that thing's gonna be working fucking overtime. This was February 15th, 2022. Department of the Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control added regulations to implement this executive order related to securities investments and amended by a June 3rd, 2021 executive order related to the CCP military industrial complex and surveillance technology companies. That's when they went ahead and added these additional 35 or 40 companies, whatever the hell that is. I think there's another page. No, that's all of it. I took that screenshot myself at 1:29 in the fucking morning, of course. So, there you have it. If you don't know why AMC and GameStop ran, and you don't understand everything I just said, please leave me a comment in the chat, because I'd like to explain it to you in more depth. I do not understand how it could be any more clear. I just cannot make it easier here. All right. So when you got guys like Michael Burry and Dr. Marco Metzler, who are, bonds analysts and professional investors, telling you what's coming, and you're not willing to at least hear them out, maybe you should really consider that. Maybe people that are invested in AMC and GameStop are actually right.
Some good sandwich.
Drive to clean up loose ends. November 16, 2016, 2 weeks after Donald Trump's victory.
Nobody speak for a second.
His voice tenser now than before.
This is getting very, very close. What I don't want to have happen, I don't want Trump to get into the position where he thinks he's about to buy onto politics, where the financial system is going to collapse, and he's going to be looked to pour more money into Ukraine. That's how he'll think about it before he gets sophisticated enough to know the details.
In other words, Biden does not want Ukraine asking for more money from Trump. Doing so would cause Trump to look into the details.
So anything you can do to push the Bankrupt Bank to closure so the IMF loan comes forward, I would respectfully suggest is critically important to your economic as well as physical security.
Critically,
Fucking scumbag. Fucking scumbag. If you don't understand what just happened, Biden was telling them
Ukraine asking
not.
for more money from Trump. Doing so would cause Trump to look into the details.
So anything you can do to push
pushing the Privat Bank to closure so that the International Monetary Fund loan comes forward means that Joe Biden is pushing them to put this bank out of business, to get them out of the fucking way, to close on the deal.
Bankrupt Bank to closure so that the IMF loan comes forward, I would respectfully suggest is critically important to your economic as well as physical security.
He literally threatened his life right here in this secret tape. This is our fucking president. This is the reason Ukraine is getting money. And Hunter Biden, as well as Nancy Pelosi and John Kerry's sons, all sit on energy companies of Ukraine. There are over 26 biolabs owned by the Pentagon in Ukraine. And there's a very good reason why they want it. The United States dollar, the US dollar has lost about 30% of its value in one fucking day because Putin pegged the ruble to gold. And then you've got GameStop issuing, or should I say, announcing an NFT dividend coming up at the next shareholder meeting for a vote, which, if approved, would be followed by final board member vote. This might be a few months down the line. They are also trying to issue more shares. Same thing that AMC did. So the GameStop crowd can finally shut the fuck up about more shares being issued. It's a good thing for GameStop. Anyways, this here could very easily lead to the mother of all short squeezes if hundreds of companies going bankrupt in China doesn't get us there first. An NFT dividend could be given out, for example, 1 NFT for every share. And if it turns out that there are, say, 10 or 20 or 30 billion NFTs issued, GameStop will be able to publicly announce this and tell the SEC that they would record, like a share recall. This would essentially cause all of the shorts to have to cover and find real shares to return. It would be a hot fucking mess. The number of catalysts that is coming together is staggering. Absolutely staggering. And I would like to thank Talon for being awesome and representing AMC and GameStop in school and schooling his teachers and administrators and fellow students about the market manipulation and AMC and GameStop and why they're having such crazy movements. This little guy gets it. He watches a lot of these videos. And I greatly respect that he does so. The fact that adults... Go ahead, man.
He is a champion.
Exactly. This little man is a champion. The fact that adults and teachers that have pensions are reinvesting their money because the way that this kid explains the stock market is amazing. Gotta give the little man a shout out.
Love it, man.
How bad is the over leveraging? The RRP has reached its high of 2022. $1,871,970,000. This is an everyday bailout. This is the federal government, sorry, not even the federal government. This is the Federal Reserve, which is not an entity of the federal government, a private company, issuing millions and millions, if not billions of dollars in kickbacks that is printed artificially that we have to pay for through hyperinflation. The only time that the reverse repurchase program has ever been higher was on December 31st, 2021, because the banks had to have their money in a certain place in order to cook the books to make it look like their assets and liabilities matched up for the last day of the fiscal quarter and fiscal year of 2021, December 31st. Since then, we dropped down a little bit. The chart's not here, but we dropped down a little bit to 1.5 billion, and it's been climbing since. We're now at 1.87 billion every single day. Also, the amount that they're giving, the amount that the Federal Reserve is giving in return to these banks is no longer 0.05. You see right there where it says offering an award, it's now 0.3. So they increased it by 25 basis points. The Federal Reserve overnight, a few days ago, increased the amount of bailout money that they're giving to JP Morgan, to HSBC, to State Street, to US Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all these fucking assholes, including BlackRock and Vanguard, and even Fidelity. Fidelity is a huge player in the RRP market because the top 34 banks, I think, have to have over $1 trillion in cash on hand at all times due to the new regulations. It shows an unwillingness as well to invest this money in a 3-month bond, because even a 3-month bond is seen as too risky and not worth the return of 0.26% when they can get 0.05 overnight, and now even 0.3. That's a huge amount of money that the United States is giving away. And it's our money, my money, your money. Our kids have to pay for this shit. If you live in this country, you will pay for this in your taxes, in the price of everything that you buy and spend money on every single day of your life. Energy, housing. The bailout, thanks to my man James Yu. Make sure you guys follow it at USJames0826 on Twitter. The bailout for the RRP awards paid was 98.18. $98 billion to counterparties so far in 2022. 98 billion. This is sad. It really is.
Yeah, somebody's in a lot of trouble.
There was 100 counterparties, guys. Not somebody. 100 somebodies are in trouble. And on that note, I don't think I've got anything left to say. I'm absolutely disgusted. Absolutely fucking disgusted. Have a great night, everybody. I wish you peace and wealth. We're going to be stinking fucking rich. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Go read the writing on the wall for yourself.
It's time to blow this thing. Get everybody stuck together.
Yeah, it means we're gonna be rich.
Get the fucking money printer out, cash rich.
Buh, 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 buh.
Cheers.
Griffin, I want my fucking money. Shut up, motherfucker. Holy shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't you?
yelling, give me the fucking money. Get the goddamn money printer out. so fucking rich. Get the goddamn money printer out.